Cheers.
Cheers.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
Well, last time we left off with... Oh, let's talk about the beer first.
Yes, beer first. And then
first.
we'll continue our part 2 of Rage Cage.
Yeah. Yes,
This is It's been a while since I've had this one, and it's still so good.
I can't wait tomorrow to wake up to this. The extra sip of, to get my day going after I've been hungover.
Mm-hmm.
Little
hair of the dog.
You know.
Little hair of the dog. Yeah. Little hair of the dog.
Why not?
Hair of nobody.
Mm.
Yeah.
Especially when it tastes like coffee and oatmeal.
Yes. Okay, so
and love.
The beer is called Frantic. It's from Institution, a local brewery around here. Mm. It is 7% alcohol. It is a coffee oatmeal stout with oak. And I definitely get all of those notes in this, especially the coffee and the oatmeal. Those you get those
strong.
Very quickly off the nose, especially. There's a very slight oak smell to it, but you get the very quick off the bat coffee and oatmeal. Yeah. And it is very reminiscent of a good morning coffee.
Dude, that's what I'm thinking.
And it
tastes like my coffee in the morning. It's like, okay. So if you need coffee with a little of a little Friday special.
That's right. That's it.
You're like, hey, it's the weekend.
Yep, you gotta enjoy it somehow, right?
Thinking of the guys that have mixed the hard alcohol in with their coffee. That's like...
Right. You gotta start it off
somehow.
Now
I get it.
Yep, all the teachers.
It was always there.
It's always there.
It was always there.
It was always there.
They take it away.
I'm gonna give this a 5.
Dude, this is delicious.
It's really is.
Yeah, and I really I love coffee, so yeah, this is right up my alley.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 5. I love stouts as it is. I'm trying to find anything really wrong with this, other than the fact that it's a 4-pack.
Yeah. Yeah. 7%.
7%'s right there in my wheelhouse. I love that percentage. It's getting close to those higher percentage beers that I really like. It's got great flavor. Yeah, like I said, I love stouts. So yeah, I'm all over this. This is wonderful. Yeah. Plus the artwork on it is freaking awesome.
Yeah. Oh, it's badass.
Yeah. So when October comes, we may have to see if we can shoot at Institution. Because
that'd be great.
The beer that I really like from them only comes out on Halloween.
Oh yeah.
It's called Scary Dairy.
Yeah.
And it is
based on the scary mental hospital.
Yeah.
It's true.
It is the best beer I've ever had, and
try that again. Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is cool.
This is connects to our second movie that we're talking about, which this may be a 2-part video.
Yeah.
But
see how this goes.
So, but yes, so 5 out of 5, both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it. So let's move on to the first movie we're talking about.
Okay.
Con Air.
Con Air. Con Air. What was it? Yeah. Con Air.
Why didn't you put the bonnet back in the box?
Hummingbird. Hey, Hummingbird.
Hey, Hummingbird. Oh, God. It's so bad.
That's the thing. It's it's so bad, so good. It's gotta just go with it.
It really is.
Can't overthink it.
It's just so much outlandish stuff. It's really?
Yeah. Nick Cage from Alabama with a wife beater. Let's start there. It doesn't help.
Stringy long hair.
Yeah, just straight. Yeah, and
really?
The scene where he gets off the bus and it's just blown in the wind, and there's an extra 7 seconds added onto that probably, where it's just you're like, wow, they're just gonna keep the fan on him.
Yeah, they're just gonna keep it going. All right, sure.
Okay, yeah, we're doing this. Yeah, we're getting into it.
That's not gonna become something down the line.
It's like Cameron Poe. He's just hitching a ride. That's it.
Just hitching a ride home. Yeah. So I mean, there's that, and then I think CinemaSins pointed out very, very like perfectly. It's like he's one or two pronouns away from being Forrest Gump.
Absolutely.
And it's like all we need is Bubba. Holy shit!
Yeah, yeah.
And there he is.
And then he's in it. He's in it. It's true. So true.
It's like what? What is happening?
Yeah. And I would think like Nick Cage didn't even like he went to Alabama to like get the accent right.
Yep.
So he wasn't even thinking Forrest Gump. So that and the fact that it became that so close to that anyways, that it's just like
well, like
with him in the movie too.
Exactly.
So it's just like okay, well, what are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
But
like one of the few movies to have a nominated song for an Oscar and a Razzie at the same time.
That's incredible.
It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, that's.
But it's really funny when it does.
Watch the music video. It shows Nick Cage doing roundhouse kicks.
Exactly.
While Trish Yearwood hits the what was it, or whatever, whatever the high notes.
Mm-hmm.
You can't mistake the 90s, right? That's just 90s.
It's just super 90s, like
so
all
90s.
over the place.
Just
oh god.
I think for me it starts with the event in the beginning where it's like this guy, I think for me it would have made more sense if he kill all three of them. All three of the bad guys.
It would have been the sentence would have
a little
probably
crazier.
Matched.
For 7 to 10 years or whatever it was.
The sentence would have matched a lot more.
Versus just
if he
one guy.
Killed all three of them, just one.
Yeah, and he just lost his mind and killed him and then stabbed him, 30 times each, and then slit their throats or something, military style.
Yeah, something
where they're like, oh, he's definitely not over the war. Like he's still there in battle.
Yeah, exactly. Especially since back then, because like PTSD wasn't like necessarily as like covered as it is now, or as like studied as it is now. So I mean, like back then, it would have been more of a thing.
Yeah.
So
they really have
the headline would have been "Ex-military loses mind."
Yeah.
In bar. Yeah.
But that's, I feel like they still would have, they defended him. It's just the fact that he got 7, like it's like a year tops, dude. No way, like no more than a year.
Yeah, I mean, like he shouldn't have gone to jail at all. It was it was self-defense.
Oh, absolutely.
Self-defense. Even if he killed him,
And they went so far out of their way to like fight him all three of them.
All three of them.
Which is the funny part because their friends are like they really were they all trying to hook up with her? Like you know what I mean? Like it's like him. Okay, if he really wants, but it's like the fact that two friends followed them to fight.
There's always
ridiculous.
so like stuff like that. Like there's a lot of cliches like that, like in movies, especially like back then. There's always the main guy, and he always brings 2 buddies with him, minimum. It's either 2 guys or 4 guys. So like at max 5.
Yeah.
But at most 3 of them fight the main character.
The entourage.
That's it.
Yeah, that's the
usually the other 2 guys are usually standing in the back, like, oh, okay, I don't want to get hurt.
Yeah. I like my friend, but it's not gonna happen.
I like my friend, but he made a mistake.
This is too far.
He made his decision, not me. So, like, that whole cliche goes on. And what's funny is in one of Tom Cruise's movies, I think it was, dang, I can't remember what the name of that movie was. I think it was Jack Reacher.
Oh, yeah?
I think it was the second one, where he's at the bar and the girl comes up to him and tries to take him for money. And then the dude, who's the main guy, takes Jack Reacher outside and starts a fight. And he brings 4 other of his buddies.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're outnumbered. It's you against 5 guys. He's like, no, it's me against 3 of you. The other 2 are gonna run.
Yeah.
And sure enough,
it's so true.
It happens.
It's so true.
And that's when I realized that happened in like so many different 90s movies. Yeah. If there's more than 3, the other 2 usually don't join in.
The fact that Tom Cruise like referenced it. just shows you that he likes study. I mean, he picks up on that stuff.
Exactly.
Just makes him just amazing. It's like, all right, he's already picking up on that.
Exactly.
Adding it into.
Like, if one guy is gonna be able to hold his own against 3 people, then he's gonna hold his own against the other 2.
That's true.
So I mean, like.
Yeah, at that point.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But, like, one of the things I wanted to, like, reference again when we were talking earlier is that if they switched the 3 main characters' roles, like, Nicolas Cage had John Cusack's role, John Cusack had Malkovich's role, and Malkovich had Nicolas Cage's role, how different and how much better that movie would have been.
Like, if they could have reshot all the scenes just to see what would happen. Like,
yeah, like,
incredible.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, John Cusack can play that dark, like dark, snarky, intellectual, like type, as well as Malkovich being the quick-witted FBI like marshal.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And Nicolas Cage can pretty much play anything.
Yeah,
because the man is a chameleon.
Well, and it would have been so interesting. I think for Malkovich, it would have made it more interesting for him too.
Exactly,
he probably would have liked it more. Like, he would have enjoyed it more, just to like actually like shoot the extra scenes and stuff. He would have been like, all right.
Yeah, I think if they just tweaked it that much, just a little bit, it would have made it a little bit more interesting, and people would have liked Nicolas Cage's character a little bit more.
Oh yeah, well that's the thing. Is like it would have made you could tell it would have made it more interesting for those guys too, for sure. Like they would have gotten a little more into it probably too.
Oh yeah,
when they did it
because both like John Cusack loves doing like introspective people. That's a lot of his like characters. They're more introspective and more intellectual that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the one that's like the least intellectual was either his taxi driver, his driver character in 2012, or the character that he had in Identity, who was also a driver, but was like an ex-cop. It was an ex-cop in Identity who lost his job and became a driver. So I mean, like, there's those like he mostly plays those introspective intellectual characters, and I think the Malkovich character would have suited him more than Larkin's character. Yeah, and I think Larkin's character would have fit Nicolas Cage's more because he's supposed to be snarky, quick-witted, and a little bit more aloof until when the time comes to be serious.
Yeah, well, and especially like having the fight with the other DA agent too.
Yeah,
really fun.
by Cole Meany.
Yeah, that
his character,
too, just like just the back and forth, and then watching Nick Cage drive the car would have been great because he would have been probably all in it. Like he would have had some extra scenes of him just driving as fast as he could to that lunar airfield.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, and they could have kept their whole hair. They could have except Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage probably would have cut his hair and been a little more like. Yeah, what he usually looks like with his shorter haircut.
Like the
Rock. more stylized, like he usually does. Like The Rock. And like it would have been. I think it would have been a little bit better movie that way, if they just tweaked it. And I think it would have probably made more than the other movie that we're talking about.
Right.
But we're doing this in like essentially. Estimated gross.
Right, yeah. It's true.
Because Face Off made the least amount out of the 3 movies that we're talking about. Wow. Con Air made the second, and the one that we're talking about next made the most.
Which is surprising. Like, it's like, because I think Face Off was pretty good too.
Yeah. Like, which is surprising. I think it was just because it had John Travolta and Nicolas Cage at the same time.
Yeah.
It was just very out there. For the American people.
Too much to handle.
I think it was a little too much out there for the American people, and I think they just didn't quite...
That's true.
They didn't quite want to go after it.
They weren't ready.
They just weren't ready.
They weren't ready for the 2. Mm-hmm. The 2, it's the double team.
It's the double teams. It's the double teams.
Double team crazies.
But, there's a whole bunch of stuff that, like... We don't really care about Con Air. Like, I like Con Air because it's a good bad movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
Yeah, explosions. Little. I would say little scenes of like. I think I would say like with it, when it comes to like that whole like the con against the system kind of idea too, where it's like, we were wrong and stuff like that, where you're getting back at the man, like that kind of stuff, right? Where it's like, or freedom too, freedom, like you're stuck in a place and you want freedom. So
the whole
that idea too,
the whole line of the John Cusack's line about how he's talking about how Cyrus is a victim of the system. A product of the system. Okay. Product of the system. Having seen that being delivered by Nicolas Cage would have been much better. Yeah. I'm sorry, but it would have been way more memorable. Exactly. Too. I love John Cusack too,
but it wasn't.
But he would have been much more memorable if Nicolas Cage delivered that line.
The intros of all of them.
Exactly, because he would have put a spin on each one of the characters to make it a little bit more memorable down the line. Because halfway through the movie, you forget what all these people are in there for, except Cyrus.
Yeah. Yeah, really. Because that's really John Malkovich. Just every line he says is John Malkovich. It doesn't really. Yeah, there's no separating it. It really doesn't.
Where the drug's going, fuck face.
You can't. Was it Penal Lore?
Penal Lore.
Penal Lore. It's just it's great. It's so true though. The way he delivers it, you're writing on every word. Every word that he says, you're where on it. It's so good.
Exactly.
It's you're anticipating.
But that's why you like Malkovich's character as he is, because he's super intellectual about a lot of things. He got a lot of degrees while he was in prison. He wasn't just sitting around not doing anything. That's right. He did something while he was in prison.
He's a product of,
he's a product of the system. Yeah. Everything he did was carefully calculated and for a reason. Everything he does is for a reason. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that whole thing too, where it's the prison cell and the guy, the cops end up blowing it up too, and the guy's like, "Hey, don't touch anything." And he sits down right away, touches something, and you're like, "Oh God!" But it is it's if you get a chance to look at all his notebooks and stuff like that, it's very calculated.
Everything's super well drawn out, everything's super well calculated, and everything was planned to the T, except Cameron Poe.
Cameron Poe.
Cameron Poe.
Cameron Poe.
Hello, Hummingbird.
Gonna get off this flight. I'm gonna go see my baby.
I'm gonna show you God does exist.
Oh, dude, that's just done. Actually, well, that's what a role. Yeah. Reversal. I'm thinking of Forrest Gump too, right there.
Exactly.
Right, where he's like,
I'm gonna show you God does exist. Yeah. It didn't help that I watched Con Air and then Forrest Gump right after that. I was like, oh God, this is so bad. It's so good. It's so bad, but so good.
It is. Well, and then, gosh, I'm trying to think.
The whole timeline for the movie is very skewed.
That's true.
Because it's supposed to take place over the entirety of a day. It's wait, what?
But wait, where they're at, where they end up, and it's I like how the what's his name, Minty.
Minty, yes.
He was talking about how in the airport in Vegas too, it's right next to the Strip.
Yeah, the Strip is literally 5 blocks away.
So that was great. That was a great point where it's wait a second, we're gonna land this thing on. He literally, if he's flying right there, there's a chance that he's.
It's not that difficult. The most you would have to do would be turn around and then go back. Onto the airfield. Yeah. It's really not that far. Especially if you've been to Vegas, you know how far you could walk.
And even between that, there's a frisbee golf course. I've played there.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's there's a place to land too.
You could walk from the airport to the Strip in 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And that's walking.
You're at the hotels, you're watching planes take off and come.
Exactly. It's okay, yeah.
Well.
But they wanted to make it some dramatic thing, but like...
And then, the guy with the models and stuff. That's what I found too. Yeah, they did like miniatures on that.
Yeah, they did miniatures.
I seen that was cool.
That was cool. I didn't know that they did that, which made that part even better.
Yeah, so now it's like cool. I kind of want to watch it.
Everything was to scale, and I gotta watch this again.
Yeah, because it's kind of like kind of like those South Park boys in Team America when they did the explosions and the miniatures, and like I think that's so cool when they do that. So I love it. But,
and then they actually got to crash the plane into a hotel because the Sands Hotel was going to be demolished later that week anyway.
That's like really cool timing too, and it's like okay, like and that the puts fact that makes you remember the hotel too.
Yeah, exactly.
In
like
eternity too.
Yep. They originally wanted it to be to crash onto the White House lawn. And they're like, no, because of what happened a year before that. Which was Independence Day. Yes. Yeah, exactly. So they're like, no, let's not do that. That's lame.
Bill Pullman. Oh, yes.
Who is it? Who else is in that movie? What's the farmer? The guy who flies the plane.
Oh, Quaid.
Quaid.
Yeah, not Randy. Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid.
I'm pilot. I fly.
I'm pilot.
I fly. It's so good. And then, now we're talking about a whole other movie, but Bill Pullman's president's speech to get them all motivated. That's incredible. But then the fact Randy Quaid's the whole time he's like, oh god.
I picked a hell of a day to quit drinking.
Yeah. Just so many great lines in that too.
Yep. He's drinking gulping down the coffee. He's like, keep coming.
The guy next to him is like, oh yeah. It's a strong suit.
Yep. But back to Con Air.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at the end, he when Cameron Poe lifts the ladder,
yes,
and Cyrus goes through the bridge over, and you think he's gonna fall behind the fire truck. No, he's flies off somewhere.
Yeah, you're like, okay, yeah, he's gonna end up on the street, car hits him, whatever. It's okay. Or if he, No,
he ends up veering off somewhere, although he's clearly going forward through the other side of the bridge, and then he veers off to the left apparently,
some kind of oil farm or whatever it is.
Some they're doing some construction, and the hydraulic press crushes his head.
Just another you're like, okay, who in the movie decided okay, we have to have this scene? I'm paying $5 million to make this movie, you're gonna put this scene in.
Exactly.
That's the only way that happens.
Why was this a thing? They should it would have been, it would have been better if he landed on the ground and slowly got up and then got hit by a car.
He thinks he's like I got this, I'm God, and then he gets hit by a random an old lady in a whatever.
A beige Volvo.
A beige Volvo. Ooh. That would be good.
That would have been good.
She's got her map out. She's like, "Oh, this is the strip." Boom, just done.
It would have been, especially since it's a beige Volvo. Yeah. It would have connected even more.
It's so safe, so safe. Oh man, that'd be so great.
Right?
Yeah,
that would have
add a beige Volvo into that.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Another beige Volvo.
Oh yeah, because early in the scene, the body drops on the beige Volvo, which is the beige Volvo.
Yep. It connects all three of the movies.
Wow.
And that's it for. That's pretty much it for Con Air, right?
Well, yeah, I was just say I like Monica Potter. That's about it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. She didn't make a lot of movies, but she's really cute.
Which one was Monica Potter? I'm bad with names. I'm better with faces.
Oh, in the movie?
Yeah.
Just the blonde. The one he's trying to get home to.
The hummingbird?
Yeah, hummingbird, yeah. And
yes.
his daughter, and his daughter's cute. And I'm like, oh god, she's amazing. So.
I also like the short-haired chick that John Cusack character was talking to.
Yes. She's,
I like her too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in a couple other movies that I like too. Not good movies, but movies.
She made them though.
She was there.
She made them. She got paid,
and that was.
I'll
watch them.
Yeah,
it's like Jennifer Connelly back in the 90s. Oh yeah. Whew, I'd watch anything with Jennifer Connelly in it.
Dude,
or Mia Sara.
Rocketeer.
Oh, love Rocketeer. Love that movie.
My dad never said anything about like limited movies or anything. I was always like, "Yeah, respectable." Jennifer Connelly in The Rocketeer. It's the only thing I ever heard him say, and I was like, "Wow." Like, that meant a lot.
Dude, her in that white dress in that movie, spectacular.
Yeah, she's so pretty.
Yes. I watched that so much as a kid, and I still watch it now.
My dad made me the Rocketeer costume.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Hell yes.
Full helmet, the gold helmet, like made out of cardboard. Made out of Quaker Oats, made the double tin rocket pack. Out of the Quaker oat, like the long tubes.
the long tubes. Oh, dude, that's
and
awesome.
Duct tape, dude. It was legit.
Dude, that's so cool.
I'll have to get that picture someday.
Yes.
Yeah, that was good. Oh. Yeah. That's how I realize now. That's how much my dad liked that movie too. Because it really wasn't me. Because I was so young back then. I think he really liked watching it for Jennifer Connelly, probably too.
Puts down on it.
He's like, "Hey, I'm like a costume.
How do I look?
Yeah,
like a hood ornament."
I love you, boy. That's right. I love how we're just veering off.
Sorry, I love movies, and I can go off of any topic. But anyway, so that about wraps up Con Air. Yeah. So we'll
Con Air.
Be back in a second.
We will reconvene.
We'll be back in a little bit to talk about...
reconvene in one more beer.
Yeah, so watch out for part 2.